You ever take a detour at night? One of those just follow the flares situations? Yeah. Well, don't follow it. Look, I'm not the type to freak out over nothing. I'm a mechanic. Grew up in the sticks. Seen drunk guys jump over bonfires and melt their shoes. Seen firecrackers lit up inside the house. Even saw meth heads crawling out of culverts a time or two. But nothing, I mean nothing, fucks with your head like the mountains at night. I was heading home from a late job up near Elkridge, way up in those twisted mountain roads that don't show up right on Google Maps. Fog so thick you could chew it. My truck's headlights barely touched the trees. That's when I saw the flares. 3 of them. Little angry red suns burning in the dark, right where the road split. There was a cop there. Well, a guy in a cop uniform. Leaned up against his cruiser like he was bored. No radio, no other cars. Just the silent flashing blue and red. He motioned with his hand, waving me down this narrow-ass detour road. No accident in sight. No wreck. No glass. No other goddamn reason for it. I slowed, rolled my window down. "Hey, what's going on?" I asked. He didn't answer, didn't move, just kept waving. And then I noticed the flares weren't burning right. Too steady, not flickering the way they normally would, and no smoke. Like colored bulbs sitting on the asphalt. Then I saw the other car, a beat-up old sedan, silver. It turned down the detour ahead of me without stopping. I sighed. Figured if someone else was going that way, maybe it was fine. Pulled in behind it. Now this is where it gets fucking weird. I followed that car maybe 5 minutes. No turnoffs, no lights, no cabins. Just endless pitch black. And the whole time I'm thinking, where the fuck is this road going? How does this guy up front know where he's going? There weren't no signs, no lines painted. Hell, there weren't even any reflectors. Then I noticed it. The car's taillights weren't moving right. Too stiff, like someone was towing it, or like it wasn't driving so much as floating. And the longer I watched, the more wrong it looked. It wasn't bouncing over the potholes, didn't dip on the curves. I was about to honk when something crossed the road. A shape, fast as hell, low to the ground, looked like a big-ass dog or maybe a bear. But it had too many legs, and it dragged something behind it. I slammed on the brakes. The thing vanished into the trees. When I looked up, the car was gone. Just gone. Vanished. No brake lights, no engine noise, not even dust. I sat there, heart pounding, fingers slick with sweat. And then, I heard it. A voice. From the trees. I couldn't make out the words, just sound. Like someone gargling gravel. I threw the truck in reverse so fast I damn near popped the gear stick. Branches clawed at my truck. I backed up the whole way, praying I didn't hit a tree. The entire time I felt like I was being chased but refused to look forward. Because I knew if I did, I would see it and do something stupid like crash. I burst through the opening then, back on the main road like I was just shit out. There was no cop, no flares, no cruiser, nothing. Just an empty road. Except there were tire marks. Bloody, smudged tire marks. Leading down the detour, like something had been dragged along with them. I floored it, didn't stop till I hit town. Truck covered in mud, scratches all down the side. One deep enough to have taken off my fucking mirror. Which really fucked me up because I don't even remember hearing this type of damage. Cops said there was no officer up there, no detour, and no missing vehicles. I know what I saw. And sometimes, late at night, I still see those taillights floating out there in the dark, waiting.
You ever have one of those nights where everything feels off? Like every time your headlights sweep over the road, you're waiting for something you don't want to fucking see. Yeah, that was my night. I was headed down this narrow mountain road, pitch black, because apparently no one thought it'd be a good idea to install streetlights on a winding mountain road. The light rain tapping on the windshield like tiny fingers. I'd been up at my sister's cabin, drank too much, sobered up just enough to regret living, and decided I'd rather risk a mountain drive than another second in that drafty little shack. It started normal. Well, mountain normal. But then it began to rain harder, which was fine. I had wipers. Brand new, in fact. Instead of the water washing away the mountain grime from my car, the water started to turn brown. As if I hadn't had a car wash in years. At first, I thought it was just dirt kicked up from the road, streaking the glass. I dialed up the speed on the wipers. Splat. Smear. Smear. Things got thicker. The brown water started turning into greasy brown smears. Mud? I frowned. What the hell? It was like driving through fucking chocolate pudding, but with this sickly, reddish tint. This is about when I started regretting my shortcut choice. I should have stuck to the main road, but my GPS said this road cut through the mountain like a knife, saving about 40 minutes of drive time. Then things got weirder. The wind picked up even more, started howling, blowing branches and leaves across the road. But there was something else. I could see them in my headlights. Things rolling across the asphalt. Looked like tumbleweeds. Wait, tumbleweeds? Up here? In the goddamn mountains? That's when one of them hit my car. Loud. Not like a branch. Not like brush. Like a body. The whole car jolted. My stomach dropped out of my ass. I slammed the brakes, tires sliding in the greasy mud, heart jackhammering. I peered through the mucked up windshield. There was something caught in the wiper. A finger. Skin bloated and gray, the fingernail cracked and blackened. It left streaks as it dragged across the glass like it was trying to hold on. Holy shit. The goosebumps that exploded all over my body felt like tiny hot needles. I threw the car into reverse, but the road behind me wasn't empty anymore. Things crawling out of the mud. Bodies, half-rotted. Faces sagging, eyes gone, skin peeling off like wet wallpaper. They moved like they were swimming through the dirt, slick and slow, dragging themselves up. I could see their mouths working, not making noise, just opening and closing, like they were trying to chew the air. I panicked, floored it forward. But now the road ahead was thick sludge, tires spinning, car lurching, mud slapped against the sides like hands. I wasn't going anywhere. The windshield was smeared, the wipers useless, grinding against something wet and thick. That's when one of those tumble bodies slammed the side hard enough to dent the metal. I completely lost my shit. I wasn't going to stay in this metal coffin waiting to die. Grabbed the tire iron from the passenger floor, don't ask why it was there, and flung open the door. Feet sunk into cold, sucking muck up to my ankles. The air smelled like rot and iron and something worse. I swung at the nearest one. The tire iron went through its head like a rotten melon, spraying black, chunky sludge. They didn't stop. More of them coming, crawling out of ditches, pulling themselves down from the trees. Mud-dripping faces, empty sockets. I ran. No fucking plan, just away. The storm howled, hurling debris. The wind whipped so hard it threw what looked like branches, or limbs, across the road. I don't know how long I ran. Felt like hours. Cut up, freezing, covered in shit. Finally stumbled onto a ranger station miles down the road. Collapsed inside the door like a dying animal. The ranger on duty looked at me like he'd seen a ghost.
You came from the North Pass?
I couldn't answer. Could barely breathe, but I nodded.
We closed that road 30 years ago. Mudslide buried a whole bus of prisoners there back in '92. They never dug them up.
He muttered, white as a sheet. I still wake up covered in sweat some nights. I still hear the thumps on the hood, see those hollow faces behind my eyes. And I don't visit my sister anymore.
I swear. It's worse when it's subtle, when it feels normal, right until it fucking isn't. There I was, 1:30 in the morning, winding down a mountain highway, tired as hell watching the headlights eat across trees, when I saw him. Thumb out, duffel bag at his feet. Skinny dude, late 20s maybe, he looked normal. Clean jeans, army surplus jacket. So I stop. Dumb? Yeah, but it was cold and hell. I'd been that guy once or twice and wished someone took a chance on me. He opens the door, climbs in and thanks me. He's polite. Says his name's Tom. Tells me he's heading down to Dry Creek. I tell him I'm going past it, but I can drop him nearby. We roll. 10 minutes in. I notice we haven't passed a single car. Not one. I joke about it. He just grins, says,
"This road's for the quiet ones."
I try to shake it off. The conversation dries up after that. Just the hum of tires and the steady drone of my busted heater fan. But something's off. He isn't doing anything, just sitting there. That's when I realize it's the lack of motion from him. No fidgeting, no shifting his legs to make himself more comfortable. Nothing. He's just sitting there looking forward. Which sounds nuts, but it's the kind of calm, practiced stillness that makes you itch. That itch doesn't go away. Matter of fact, it crawls up the back of my scalp. And for some reason, I glance up at the rear view, and my fucking heart stops. I'm not looking at the miles of dark road behind me. I'm looking at his reflection. Two things hit me at once. One, how in the ever-loving shit is his reflection in the back seat? And two, it isn't right. I mean, his real self sitting right there in the passenger seat, calm as hell. But the reflection is a horror show. Blood. Everywhere. His throat slit open, flesh hanging, one eye gone, the other staring straight ahead. His mouth twitching like he's trying to speak. Mouth and bloody teeth slick with gore trying to make words, but his slit throat won't let him. And he's pissed. I mean fucking livid. The reflection lunges. I scream like a little girl, swerve the wheel, slam the brakes so hard my chest hits the steering wheel. The truck skids sideways on the gravel shoulder. I jump out, door wide, lungs on fire, ready to scrap, heart pounding so hard it's in my ears. But there's nobody in the back seat. Nothing. Just an empty, dark stretch of seat behind me. I whip around and there he is. Still sitting there, calm as a corpse, looking up at me.
"Everything all right?"
He says. But there's a smile play at the edge of those words. That's it. I'm done. Out. Get the fuck out. Now. He stares for a second, then shrugs, grabs his bag, steps out. Cool as you like. I'm halfway back in the driver's seat when he looks at me one last time.
"See you soon."
He says it like a promise. I burn rubber getting out of there. About an hour later, I roll up to this little roadside diner. Old neon buzzing. I pull in, figuring coffee and pie might calm my nerves. I'm halfway through a slice of apple goodness when I see it. A figure, out the window, standing by my truck, duffel bag at his feet. It's him. I blink, look again. He's closer, now at the diner door. I get up, head for the back exit, pushing past some half-asleep trucker, step outside, and I swear to sweet fuck all he's already there. Right at the corner of the building, half in shadow, same duffel, same hollow eyes. I book it back to my truck, keys shaking so bad I damn near drop them. When I hit the headlights, he's gone. No tracks, no figure, no nothing. I drove all the way to the city without stopping. Never looked back. But even now, some nights, I swear I see him. Just ahead, duffel bag at his feet, thumb out, waiting.
You ever see something so wrong it makes your brain stutter? Just me? Great. I've driven these mountain roads 100 times. I was halfway down a winding road I had no business driving after dark. One stupid day hike to clear my head, and now here I am. No service, a half-dead phone, and a stomach full of those awful protein bars that taste like drywall. As I rounded the bend, Something up ahead caught my headlights. Big. My first thought, deer? Except no, something was wrong. Too skinny, too pale. I slowed to a crawl. It was a woman. Barefoot, bleeding, sprawled dead center in the road. She was facing away from me. What looked like an oversized, filthy shirt clung to her like wet tissue paper. She looked bad. Car idling, I didn't immediately jump out. My gut screamed predator bait, because there's no way a woman ends up in the middle of nowhere like this on accident. It could have been an animal attack, but I doubted it. Animals don't walk away from meat. But I couldn't just leave her. I'd have to live with that. Or worse, she'd haunt my ass. So I grabbed my self-defense rings, slipped them over my fingers like tiny brass knuckles, and yanked the cheap dagger my ex got me for Christmas out of my glove box. Not much, but better than screams and harsh language. I stepped out into the cold. Hey, are you okay? Not too loud. Didn't want to alert anyone, or anything else. She didn't move. She was lying on her side, head turned away. Long dark hair splayed across cracked pavement. Was she breathing? I couldn't tell. I edged closer, heart hammering, my boots crunching on gravel. Her legs were shredded. Cuts, dirt, blood, bone. Feet chewed up like she'd run barefoot through a fucking wood chipper. Crouched down. Hey, can you hear me? Are you hurt? Still nothing. I was this close to hauling her up caveman style and stuffing her in the car when I heard it. Snap. Somewhere behind me, a clean, sharp break. My head whipped around. Nothing but black trees. Every instinct screamed, "Run, idiot!" But I couldn't just leave her. I knelt down, shook her shoulder. No response. And then came the second sound. A rustle, then a shape. A big lumbering shadow moving just beyond the tree line. I couldn't make out what it was, but it was there, blotting out what little ambient light there was, which is the only reason I could see it at all. Fuck this. I started to stand to face whatever was there. That's when her hand shot up, locking onto my wrist like a bear trap. My visceral reaction was to look down and pull my arm away. That's when I noticed it. Her nails were gone. Just raw, torn flesh where they should have been. Then I fell back on my ass, my wrist still clutched in that death grip. I was staring straight into it, where her face should have been. It was just this hollow, gaping black pit. Not blood, not flesh, not even bone, just nothing. Like staring into a cave that went forever. This wasn't an injury. She had no face. And then she breathed. A wet, rattling, sucking noise like something choking on its own blood. She started to pull herself up. Or maybe pull me down to her. I don't fucking know. I screamed and stabbed, without thinking, driving my little dagger over and over again into her forearm. It slid in like jelly. She let go and flopped down like a bag of meat. And then, from the tree line, that figure moved. It was tall, its head just grazing the lower branches. A silhouette, blotting out the faint mountain starlight. I couldn't see its face, but I felt it watching me. I bolted, boots scraping the pavement, flew into my still idling car and through sobs and panic, broke all kinds of laws getting down that backwoods road. I almost slammed into the sheriff's building. I told them everything. They thought I was crazy. Maybe I am. But they went back up there to check it out. Nothing. No woman. No creature. Not even my tracks. Now I don't go in the woods. Ever. And if I see anything bigger than a raccoon on the road, I fucking floor it. Thanks for listening. 2 of these stories were inspired by yours truly. I really did have to take a detour through the middle of nowhere with one lone car to follow. That was creepy as hell. Then there was driving through a storm so bad mud caked on my windshield. And the tumbleweeds that slammed into my car really did seem like bodies throwing themselves at me. Ah, the magic of driving at night. Good times. Well, until we meet next time.